Your environment is affecting you more than you think. Michael didn't hear those words from a motivational speaker or a book. He heard them from life itself, quietly, painfully, over years of trying, failing, and wondering why nothing ever changed. If you met Michael on a random day in his early 20s, you probably wouldn't think much of him. He lived in a worn-down neighborhood on the outskirts of a mid-sized American city, where the buildings looked tired, the streets stayed loud late into the night, and dreams usually got postponed until someday. Michael used to believe something simple: I just need to work harder. That's it. Hard work fixes everything. But life kept proving him wrong in ways he couldn't explain. He tried getting fit, started jogging at 5 a.m. for 3 days. Then he stopped. He tried reading books, bought 3 self-improvement books, finished none. He tried waking up early, his alarm rang every morning, and every morning he hit snooze. And slowly, without noticing, he began to believe something dangerous: maybe I'm just not disciplined. Maybe I'm not built for success. But what Michael didn't realize was that his environment was silently shaping every one of those decisions. Not just the place he lived, but the people he surrounded himself with, the conversations he absorbed, the energy he accepted as normal. One night changed everything. It was close to midnight. Michael was sitting on the front steps outside his apartment, scrolling aimlessly on his phone. The streetlight above him flickered like it was tired of trying too. Across the street, a group of friends laughed loudly, talking about quick money, shortcuts, and weekend plans that never went anywhere. That wasn't unusual. That was normal here. But something felt different that night. An older man from the building next door, Mr. Harris, sat down beside him. He was in his late 50s, quiet, always observant. People said he used to be something big once, but nobody really knew the story. Mr. Harris looked at Michael and said calmly, "You know what your problem is?" Michael almost laughed. "Probably a lot of things." Mr. Harris shook his head. "No, just one thing. Your environment is stronger than your willpower." Michael frowned. "What does that even mean?" The old man leaned forward slightly, eyes fixed on the street. "It means you can want success all you want, but if everything around you looks like failure, sounds like failure, and feels like failure, your brain slowly accepts failure as normal." Michael didn't respond. But something inside him shifted. Mr. Harris continued, "You think you're fighting your laziness. But most days, you're fighting your surroundings." That night, Michael couldn't sleep. For the first time, he started noticing things he had ignored for years. The conversations outside his window at night, always about what they didn't have. The friends who joked about never escaping. The way everyone seemed to laugh at ambition like it was a fantasy. Even at home, it was the same pattern. The same complaints. The same exhaustion. The same belief that life just happens to you. Michael had always thought motivation was personal. Now he was starting to see it might be environmental. A week later, something happened that pushed him further. Michael had finally saved enough money to buy a used laptop. He told himself this time he would start learning digital skills, maybe coding, maybe editing, something that could change his life. But the moment he brought it home, his cousin laughed. "You really think that stuff works? Man, just get a job and chill. You're overthinking life." Another friend added, "People like us don't end up doing big things. That's just social media fantasy." They weren't trying to be cruel. That was the scary part. They genuinely believed it. And slowly, those beliefs tried to infect Michael too. That night, he didn't open the laptop. He just sat there, staring at it, feeling something heavy he couldn't name. Not laziness. Something deeper. Doubt. Days turned into weeks. Michael noticed a pattern. Whenever he spent time around certain people, his ambition shrank. Whenever he stayed alone and watched educational content or read, he felt alive. But the moment he stepped back into his usual environment, that energy disappeared. It was like trying to stay clean while standing in the rain. One afternoon, Mr. Harris saw him again outside. "You look like you're thinking too much," he said. Michael replied quietly, "I think my environment is messing me up." Mr. Harris nodded. "It is." That direct answer surprised him. Michael frowned. "So what do I do? I can't just move out or change everything overnight." Mr. Harris smiled slightly. "You don't need to change everything. You just need to understand something first." Michael waited. The old man said, "You become the average of what you repeatedly see, hear, and tolerate." That sentence stayed in Michael's mind like a loop. That night, he did something different. Instead of scrolling social media, he wrote a list. Who do I spend the most time with? What do they talk about? How do I feel after being around them? What content do I consume daily? What do I hear more, possibility or limitation? The answers scared him. Most of his environment was feeding him limitation. Not directly telling him, "You can't succeed," but indirectly shaping it through jokes, negativity, laziness, and survival mindset. It wasn't toxic in an obvious way. It was normal. And that was the danger. Michael started making small changes. He didn't move cities. He didn't cut everyone off. He started with one decision: he reduced exposure. Less time outside late at night. Less random conversations. More time learning quietly. At first, his friends didn't understand. "You acting different now," one of them said. Michael just smiled. "I'm just busy." But inside, he knew something was changing. The real test came a month later. He had started learning basic video editing. Nothing impressive. Just small steps. He would watch tutorials and practice late at night when everything was quiet. For the first time in years, he felt direction. But then came pressure. One weekend, his friends invited him out. Same old routine. Same place. Same conversations. "You always on that laptop now," they teased. "Come on, live a little." Michael hesitated. That moment mattered more than he realized. Because it wasn't just about going out. It was about identity. Old version of him or new version. He went. And that night, nothing dramatic happened, but something subtle did. He came home later than planned. He didn't study. He didn't practice. And the next day, it felt harder to restart. That's when he understood something painful: one night in the wrong environment can delay a week of progress. He thought about Mr. Harris's words again. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. For the first time, Michael didn't just agree. He felt it. Months passed. Michael began to build discipline not by force, but by design. He changed his environment in layers. He rearranged his room so his desk faced a blank wall instead of distractions. He cleaned his space until it felt uncomfortable to be lazy in it. He started following people online who talked about growth instead of entertainment. He reduced time with people who constantly drained his energy, not out of hate, but out of awareness. And slowly, something changed. His thinking changed first. Then his habits. Then his confidence. But the biggest shift wasn't visible. It was internal. Michael stopped believing that he was lazy. He started realizing he had been conditioned. One evening, Mr. Harris saw him again, this time walking with headphones on, focused, calm. "You look different," the old man said. Michael smiled. "I changed my environment." Mr. Harris nodded. "No. You changed your distance from the wrong one." That distinction hit hard. Because Michael realized something deeper: sometimes you don't need a new life. You need a new influence radius. Years later, Michael wasn't the same person. He wasn't a billionaire. He wasn't famous. But he had something more important: control over his direction. He was working in digital media, building skills, earning steadily, and more importantly, thinking clearly. And when people asked him what changed, he never talked about motivation. He talked about environment. People think discipline is the hardest part, he would say. But it's not. The hardest part is surviving in an environment that constantly pulls you backward while you're trying to move forward. He would pause and add, "You don't rise in a place designed to keep you the same." And then he would remember Mr. Harris. One day, Michael went back to the old building. Michael said, "You were right." The old man replied, "I always am. I just wait for people to see it themselves." Michael laughed. "I used to think I needed more motivation." Mr. Harris shook his head. "You didn't need motivation. You needed a better environment." Michael looked around, the same street, the same noise, the same patterns. But now he saw it differently. Not as destiny. As influence. As programming. Before leaving, Mr. Harris said one last thing: "Remember this, your environment will either train you or drain you. There is no neutral." That line stayed with Michael for the rest of his life. And if you listen closely, it might stay with you too. Because the truth is simple, even if it's uncomfortable, you are not just becoming who you want to be. You are becoming what you are around. So if your life feels stuck, don't just ask what's wrong with you. Ask what's shaping you. Because sometimes, the biggest change in your life won't come from trying harder, it will come from stepping into a different environment entirely.